What's going on, everyone? It's Mitch from RespectMyReason.com, filling in for Joey today on this episode of the Morning Joint. If you're subscribed to our newsletter, a lot of these topics should be in your inbox by now. If not, make sure to subscribe to the Respect My Region newsletter. We send out that Morning Joint every Monday between 9 and 10 a.m., curated with some of the top stories on our site and in music and cannabis over the week. So today, let's start going through some topics. We have a special guest that's going to join us at some point, but we're going to run through some topics starting at the top of the list with cannabis. So the highlight of this last week is Respect My Region dropped our collaborative product in Washington with House of Cultivar. I've got the jar right here, the 7 days a week strain. We spent the last year and a half pheno hunting this. It is a Gelato 41 times OG Kush times the Disco strain. The Disco strain is a proprietary pheno that House of Cultivar grew. That's a wedding cake times black lime vines that Burner handpicked for cookies. When we started this process, it was one of the strains we were playing with. About a year through that, we were notified that that was going to be used for cookies. Not our strain is not known for cookies, but some of the lineage is in there, so it's kind of cool. Response has been crazy. We just dropped this at 23 stores around Washington on Friday. Response has been great. I'm personally loving the smell and the flavor of this, but I picked it out. So, I mean, it should be no surprise. So this is kind of like if you are a fan of like the runts or the early versions of like Girl Scout cookies and stuff before they kind of stabilize those genetics where it's like a small buds. This is not like a huge nug strain. These are about the biggest size nugs that we got off this. These Ace that are marked at 3.5 grams might have, 4 grams. They might be a little overstuffed in there, but like some exotics that we really like for flavor and stuff, it's not a high yielding plant, so we're not getting fat, chunky nugs. But if you're buying this, you're going for the flavor and the smoke. This is like a diesely, gassy, doughy sherby with a little hint of lime. I'm loving it. But again, I spent a year and a half trying to pick out my favorite out of here. And so there's no reason or no surprise that I love it. Anyways, the feedback's been great. That's available at 23 stores around Washington State. It's super limited. Once this drops out, this strain quite literally might never exist or not exist in this capacity again. So go check that out. We have an article on the website that has a list of the stores. And then I know Joey talked about it last week, but 3 weeks ago, we also dropped our Legacy Smalls product in California. That's right. Respect My Region's got weed on menus in 2 different states right now. Legacy Smalls is 7 grams of smalls, of indoor smalls. It's a pretty good deal. These are going out the door, depending on the retailer, anywhere from like $45 to like $55 tax all in California. Quarter ounces from smalls. We teamed up with one of our favorite growers out there to source that product. It's almost sold out of distro. We're on the way to re-up, but it's still on some delivery and dispensary menus. Again, we got an article on the site if you want to find some more on that. This is the package. I don't have the flower in there to show off, but this is the dedication OG, which people are really catering to. Moving on next, we also have our Hall of Flowers recap that just launched on the site. You can go check that out. It's, I believe, the top article on the respectmyregion.com right now. Joey went over the recap of the event last week, so I'm not going to go in depth talking about that. But our article is out, and we did 10 different interviews with professionals, cannabis industry professionals all around Hall of Flowers, from buyers to sales reps to CEOs to consultants to founders. Just a real good snapshot of what the California cannabis industry is looking like. So you can go on there. Of the interviews, I think there's 3 or 4 that are probably published by now. By the end of the week, all 10 will be out, so you can check those out. And then lastly, it's in the description and on the website, but we have a white truffle strain feature. It's a strain that's been out for a while, but really starting to capture some steam. I've seen it get a little bit more popularity. I reviewed the white truffle from Laughing Gas that's doing pretty well. Laughing Gas just shared that on Instagram. It's doing some pretty good numbers. So you guys can check out that strain description. And then lastly, but not least, for our cannabis news, I'm going to bring on our special guest, but Alive and Well have teamed up with Larry June's Midnight Organics brand for the Good Job Lemon Haze vape cart, special product that's coming to shelves real soon here in California. And without further ado, I'm going to bring on our guest, Nick Weaver, co-founder of Alive and Well Cannabis. How are we doing today, Nick? Oh, shoot. Where's the volume at, man? We lost you. 1 second, folks. We got them. Worst case, just drop out and rejoin the room real quick. Technology always working for us and working against us at the same time, man. Hold on 1 sec. We'll bring Nick right back in here. Whoop. 1 second, y'all. There we go. Hello, hello. Oh no, the audio. You want to double check the mute on your side? Let's see. There we are.
Got it.
How we living, Nick?
Oh, another beautiful day down here in Grants Pass, Oregon.
So we were just chatting a little bit before we went on the live. One of Nick's jobs, one of the hardest, most painstaking, worst jobs in cannabis, sourcing cannabis flower, man. Having to find flavors, such a terrible occupation, man. So we're getting in the middle of Croptober, harvest season across the map, man. So I know you're probably geared up to go start looking at what these flavors are coming down. But we're going to talk a little bit about this Alive and Well collaboration with Larry June's brand. The Good Job Lemon Haze vape cart. That's coming out. It's the 17th, right? Do I have that date down right? It's dropping on the 17th?
Yes.
17th around California. I love this collaboration. Larry June. Larry June's been, blowing up over, he's been out for a while, but he's really starting to get a crazy following and or a bigger following. And what I like about him is he definitely has he's one of those artists that has that diehard fan base. And his branding, obviously the clothing line's Midnight Organic. He's all around kind of just living a healthier, he always talks about living healthy and all this stuff. So I like that translation to cannabis, gives you guys something to play around with flavors. What was it when you guys started exploring this path? What were you guys looking for in terms of the flavor and the strain for the product to make sense with this collaboration?
Well, honestly, it's kind of going down the fruit line, So you got your lemons, you got your limes, you got your oranges, you got all the different flavors for terpene profiles. And so one that just stood out to us was Super Lemon Haze. It's kind of got this lemon banana smoothie thing going on a fresh frozen. So when you walk the field and you're smelling all these different plants in the field, they have a different aroma than a cured aroma, right? So a lot of the fruity strains, they really go well with live resin. So, I mean, you're talking about accentuated banana and accentuated oranges and beyond, So the Good Job Lemon Haze is Super Lemon Haze. And I mean, it's honestly, you've got notes of banana nut bread and lemon icing. You've got lemon banana smoothie, all these things that come to mind if you say that before you actually taste test this thing and actually smoke it. Man, it's got it. So it's a shocker. You give it to people, they go, holy shit, So it's to me, it's we've ran it before with the Alive and Well stuff, so it just performs so well that we were like, this is going to go really well for Larry. And then hopefully it starts the launch of, going down the fruit line. I mean, he's rapping about fruit smoothies. He's rapping about watermelons. He's rapping about fresh squeezed orange juice, which is honestly kind of the mantra of what we want to provide to the people is a fresh squeezed orange juice approach versus whatever the hell's at the grocery store. And then, you can go all the way down to the cheaper stuff, the Donald Duck, the Minute Maid, the Sunny Delight. So I know what I want to drink and I know what Larry wants to drink. And so we align on those two things. It's I want to be something, or I want to provide a product that Larry would enjoy. And really we make products that we want to enjoy. So that's kind of the basis of where this all came from, man. And just by, having great people in our network, I cannot believe this is happening. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, this is epic. I mean, obviously, your guys' team has really been, on the forefront. I feel like of live resin and provide, like you said, providing a really good product from solid fresh frozen. You know, obviously I followed you guys through a couple different iterations of your guys' squad, and that's always been, you know, since I first met your guys' team, that's always been, I feel like, the vision and the goal. And I think the products you guys have made have spoke for themselves, and that's what people speak about. When it came from looking at these different iterations of flavors and terpenes, why kind of what stood out the most? I mean, I know you said it really expressed through, but the lemon haze, was this something that you guys worked hands-on with Larry, or did they really, like, his camp trust you guys in kind of exploring and laying out the blueprint of, like, okay, we're going to drop this flavor and that'll lead into this one? I'm just kind of curious why we're running with this one first, and what his involvement in that selection was.
You know, as far as I think there was just a major trust going forward with, you know, because that's where we were at the beginning. It was like, hey, like, do we want to, like, sit down and taste test and all these things? And, you know, here's the thing, Larry's a busy dude. And you know, it was up to us to pick the right profile that would match the ethos of what we're trying to do in the first place. So, you know, like I said, this was tried and true, tested in the market, and it's one of my top 5 all-time extracted, you know, live resins out of, you know, 8 years of doing this in the rec. So I'm just like, okay, this is a winner. Now, honestly, in the future, you know, I'm hunting down tangerine strains that actually, you know, don't have. Honestly, I don't like the cheesy Agent Orange kind of thing. I like more of the Tropicana cookies, but it's hard to find a good cut of that. You know, and so yeah, I mean, there's an orange acai gelato that I'm working on that could make it. I haven't taste tested it yet, but you know, we're just honestly, it's we have a whole taste testing consortium with the company, and it is extremely valued, and the input from the team is everything. And so we all just shake our heads. We're like, this is the one. So that's kind of how this was done.
Yeah, it's hard if you guys unanimously agree. You know, it's hard to argue with that. You know, obviously, you guys have this experience across multiple states, like you said, 8 years. How many strains, if you would have to put it up there, how many strains have you taste tested? Not just, I mean, not for this product, but just in general. What would your estimation be?
Probably about 500, maybe
Okay.
more. You know, in one harvest season, I was responsible for about 120 strains.
Wow.
So and then I go through, and as soon as they start fruiting and actually start to produce aroma, that's when everything gets interesting, and then I can make my selections. So I mean, just by, you know, your nose is the coolest thing in the world. You know, like, it's like you remember what things smell like, and it brings memory back, and that kind of thing. So that terp profile is everything to me. You know, like, I know if I smell it in the field and it is just like unforgettable, and I can remember every note in it, then it's going to do extremely well in the market. So I'd say 500. It's probably more. I mean, at one time, I think I was doing 15,000 pounds a month, you know, like extracting. So you know, I got to stick my nose in every single live resin jar that was processed. And so and it smells different when it's in bulk than it does in a vape cart or a dab. You know, you have different notes. So, you know, all of that is that's just memory that I've, you know, an experience that I've acquired, you know? So, yeah, I love this, man. And honestly, there's strains that I'm still looking for from the East Coast, from other places that I just can't get. And I don't know where they went. And, you know, there's a Atlanta Kush that I'm just, you know, in love with, and I used to get all the time 15 years ago. I wish I could put that in a Larry cart. So that's what I'm doing. I'm hunting down the holy grails, you know? So, and this will never end. This, you know, super lemon haze might disappear, you know, in a few years, and then it will become folklore. I doubt it, because it's, you know, but that happens with a lot of strains where you're like, where did it go? Like the bubble gum, where did it go? You know, like,
Yeah.
everybody just bred bubble gum into other things to keep it. You know, bugs love that strain, so nobody wants to grow it. So they're like, I'm going to breed it into other things and make a million different little bubblegummy strains. So.
And then it disappears. Yeah, and I come from the music realm, and like, you know, being a sample based producer, I don't do that as much, but that was my background and how I got into everything. And I feel like people from that lifestyle, you never stop looking for samples, you never stop looking for new, finding remnants of old, and it's just like this process of like that just never ends.
Have fun with that rabbit hole, you know?
Yeah, and ingrained to you, but I mean, very similar to what you're doing, right? Of sourcing flavors and strains and finding things that remind you of a history of, you know, have nostalgia, bits of nostalgia, but then also like, what's the future? What's the new iteration? I feel you when you're like, this will never end.
Well, there's hype, but then there's like legit badassness where you're like, you know, I mean, a lot of the wedding cakes, I mean, there's good cuts of wedding cake, but it got diluted out. And I'm like, you know, so like, really, it's just for me, I cannot stand the hype stuff, but I understand it. And, you know, but most of the time it doesn't really translate to quality. It's usually a really pretty bud where you're like, I just smell kind of mute cream, you know, like, and so, yeah, it is directly correlated to the nose. I'm chasing terpene profiles, man, and you can see the look on people's faces when they try their first Durban poison, you know, and they get shocked and they're like, I'm like, that's Durban poison, like that's a, you know, that's a staple landrace kind of situation, you know. So
absolutely, and I, you know, I'm from the Washington area. I live in Seattle. Alive and Well is a historic, you know, streetwear brand from out here. And being in fashion or streetwear in general, they say, you know, the average lifespan, I think, well, this is when we first started in clothing 10 years ago. Maybe it's shortened, but back then, like the average lifespan of a streetwear brand was like under 2 years. Alive and Well has been around well over a decade. Really a staple in the Seattle scene. Done a lot of creative, cool collaborations. Now breaking into cannabis. And being in California, starting to build out a great little brand and in a whole new regard with a new product type. You know, the brand obviously has these elements that not a lot of other cannabis brands have, right? It's streetwear, but it's like artistic, and it's existed pre-cannabis. We're seeing a lot of like urban and hip hop influenced cannabis brands. And obviously Cookies kind of came from that clothing line, but that's different. That's more cannabis specific. Alive and Well has more of this brand and artistic aesthetic that's been around that gives you guys room to kind of lean on, again, something that's nostalgia, but also take it in new ways. What was the basis of this Larry June collab? Like, was it something he approached you guys? Did you guys approach him? How did this kind of collaboration from these two kind of artistic titans come about?
One of our partners in Alive and Well is, you know, in charge of the Midnight Organic brand. So he's partners with Larry on that. So that, yeah, you know, that was a shocker when I found that out. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's real? Like, holy moly. So anyway, yeah, so then we got to talk and we're like, well, okay, I'm gonna listen to Larry's music, you know, like, and I hadn't listened to Larry's music yet. This is probably about, you know, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I'm like, I'm gonna check this out. Next thing you know, I'm in love with the music, and you know, and so is everyone on the team. And so, you know, it just kind of came out of, well, we love this, we love everything he's talking about. You know, our partners working with them, like, we should try to do something. And then it kind of came down to, I heard remnants of his crew enjoying our carts. Some people that, you know, like they're on his touring team, and they like it. And so I'm like, I feel honored. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. And so it just, this is a natural kind of procession that happened. This isn't a like, please do this, you know, like, this is like, I think there's mutual respect on both ends to make this work. I don't want to beg anybody to do anything. I want this to be organic, you know, and I put a lot of my love into this product. So it's like, you know, like most of my life in the past, you know, 20 years has been cannabis. So yeah, this has been This is a marriage made in heaven as far as I'm concerned. So I don't know where this is going to go. I just know it's going to go up, you know?
Yeah,
And, um,
that's
it's
awesome.
going to
Well,
be, it's going to be fun, matching other strains and seeing where this goes, because I think this is going to be great.
yeah, organic relationship between two entities that pride themselves on going organic with what they deliver and what they push, and I like that. Obviously, there's a lot of room to play with. Like you said, he's talking about a healthy lifestyle. He's name dropping fruit in so many different records, smoothies, and I like that. You know, there's this push for people now to like have, you know, it's flavor, right? Enjoy the finer things in life. It's not necessarily a designer bag or a foreign car, but it's like eat some really good food, have really good fruit, right? Drink really good stuff. Sure, it's good for you, but it also tastes good, right? Which
Yeah,
pleases
stay
your
healthy,
palate.
man. You know, like you want to see someone healthy and doing well. And that is, I mean, that's we're all chasing that. You know, you can live to 100, but how are you going to feel on the way there? You
Mm,
know, so that's kind of
how
where
you
my
gonna
head's
fumble?
at. You know, and yeah, I just think this is absolutely a perfect match for collaboration.
I love that, man. I love that. Outside of this, what else does Alive and Well have in store for the cannabis market that you can let loose of?
The dabs are launching. So I haven't made dabs for about 2 years since you know leaving my previous company, and I'm pretty excited, man. It's I already kind of sampled the market with a lot of our retail partners just to kind of show them what's going on. It's an overwhelming like excitement. Of course, it hasn't launched as soon as I'd want it to, but they're coming probably in another couple weeks. And best dabs I've ever made in my career. Same
Mm.
with the vape carts. It's the best oil that I've made in my career. I'm just continuously trying to micro adjust SOPs to get better. And really, you can smell it and you can taste it when it's better. That's how you tell. Test results, kind of whatever, like laboratories are all over the place, but really, it is peer review that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about putting things in the market and then seeing what the reaction is from bud tenders, from buyers, from everyone. I'm genuinely concerned with it's a chef's approach. Like,
Mm.
I made a meal for you. I hope you enjoy it. So in the future, we're going to be selling terpenes for diffusers or food infusions or anything like that. I mean, if you want perfume that you want to spray on yourself that smells like this Good Job Lemon Haze, that's common.
Mm.
Drippers for Delta 9 drippers of live resin for putting on a joint, putting on a bowl, whatever, glass strippers. Those are going to come basically the whole entire live resin line. I'd love to do edibles and match food pairing or juice pairings to the live resin, like the Super Lemon Haze. It would be like a lemon banana starburst kind of approach,
Mm.
and because it almost tastes identical. You smell that puck, and that's kind of what if you tell somebody that they're smelling that, then they're like, damn, that does smell like a starburst. So weed is the coolest thing in the world. That's as far as I'm concerned. Like, it's a plant that you can smoke that tastes like bubble gum or chocolate or skunk, or it never ends. So I'm like, I don't know why I'm so fascinated with that, but I just think it's cool as shit.
And on that note, one of the things that fascinates me personally is like you can have weed that smells and tastes like something that's like unbelievably fruity and like attractive, and then like you said, skunk. You could also have weed that smells like straight like dog shit,
But
but it's like
you still like it.
enjoyable dog shit.
Yeah, you still love it. You're like, I just want to smell that. Like, I love the smell of a skunk now, and I'm like, my nose follows it. I'm like, what was that? And you're taught as a kid that ooh, a skunk, it smells bad, and I'm like, I'm like, is that just social, or conditioning, like that you've been conditioned to hate a skunk? But yeah, I don't know. It's hilarious to me, man. Weed is the coolest plant in the world. So.
Yeah, I think, in my pursuit of, I don't ever like self-proclaiming myself as a connoisseur. I just someone that really likes good weed, enjoying good weed. I think it's opened up that just like thought or mindset of like understanding flavors and what are strong flavors. And I think that might be like why the skunk is enjoyable, because it's such a pronounced and well-defined smell. Whether it's good or bad is kind of like secondary to just like, wow, that is a very pronounced flavor. And I think that's the same thing in cannabis. I was talking to someone about like back in the day, like I don't like Jack Herrera's a strain I just personally don't enjoy. But back in the day, I loved it. As I wasn't, my palate wasn't as spoiled as it is. My availability wasn't as spoiled as it is nowadays. But someone was saying maybe it was just such a strong flavor. It's not that I necessarily liked it. I just associated, wow, this has a lot of flavor. This must be good. And then now that I've been able to experience many things, I'm like, it's something I prefer least compared to these other things, right? But like
Right.
as a smoker, you just love flavor.
Yeah, you would. The thing is, you would always take a Jack Herrera over weed that has no flavor.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, okay, I'll take the Jack, but it's not like one that you are. It's always the safe backup plan. A Jack Herrera, like unless you just love lemon pine sol, you
Yeah.
know. And so yeah, it's for me, it's like I want to have the whole entire soda machine. I want to have your orange crush, your grape drink, your root beer. I mean, literally, weed makes every single flavor match pretty much what's on a soda machine. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I want cream soda.
Yeah.
I always love standard Coca-Cola, but like once in a while, I want some grape drink,
Yeah.
like, so, and honestly, that's how we source what we're doing. I mean, it's just, like if I can find a good cut of grape, which I've got a grape pie coming that is just like, I smelled it in the field and I was like, this smells like grape candy. It's just
Mm.
so good. So I'm trying to put those on my menu, and I'm trying to get people to understand if they want to be a connoisseur, which I'm not afraid to talk about that word. We're at the beginning of the weed, legalization. Honestly, it hasn't legalized yet federally, so it's still prohibited.
Sure.
So I want people to learn that weed actually can smell great without fake flavoring, and it can taste like grape candy without fake flavoring. And a lot of people just don't know that. They have no
Mhm.
idea. So I want people to try that, and then they're going to remember it. And that's how you get good at drinking wine or whiskey or anything. You have to drink it. You have to smoke it. You have to taste it. That is connoisseurship. You
Mhm.
can learn some history and some other stuff, and you can get on the rabbit hole, but really it's just as simple as tasting and actually knowing what you're tasting. And a lot of people don't even get a chance to try good weed. So I'm trying to help them understand that 90% of the vape cart market is boof. It's not good. And I'm like, if you try my product, you will, 90, there's a 90% chance you're never gonna forget it.
Mhm.
It's the
Mhm.
best marketing tool we have is the actual oil itself.
Absolutely, absolutely. Leading with quality and taste. Well, Nick, is there anything else we can plug? The Live and Well Midnight Organic. Good job, Lemon Haze is dropping October 17th. Anything else you want to share before I get you up out of here, man?
Off the top of my head, I can't say anything other than lemon banana smoothie comes to mind on the flavor notes of that thing. So I am so thankful for this collaboration, and I can't believe it's happening. So I can't wait to see the reaction in the market. It launches today, so um, this is this is the start of a whole new thing. So
Awesome. Well, Nick, I really appreciate you hopping on here, man. We're going to be on the lookout. I know I'm not in California, but I'm sure Joey will get some in his hands and do a review here soon. But we'll let you get on your day, man. You guys drop day, so we'll let you get on with the get on, man, and appreciate your time again.
Yeah, Mitch. I'll get you some samples. I'll be heading up to Washington soon, so I appreciate
Well,
it, man.
I look forward, man. Hey, you got my line, man. Hit me up.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, man.
Bye.
That was Nick Weaver, co-founder of Alive and Well Cannabis in California. They're dropping their Good Job Lemon Haze collaboration with Midnight Organics, Larry June's brand in California today, hitting delivery and dispensary menus across the state of California. Check that out. And for our followers from Washington, you guys know Alive and Well is a legendary Seattle streetwear brand. So they've been selling cannabis products, vape carts in California over the last year, doing a lot of good stuff. This is a dope collaboration that just came to be. I see Aaron in there with the comments. What's up, Aaron? How you doing, man? Moving on to some music news as we're running through. And again, this is our Morning Joint podcast. We run this every Monday morning after we send out our newsletter that drops every Monday morning with some of the highlights in both music and cannabis news that have happened on our site and kind of around the industry, the market over the last week. And so moving on, and all of these links should be in the description if you want to check them out. We dropped the write-up on Young Slo-Be, the Pony music video. Sadly, this was a video I wanted to cover for a while. A song that I wanted, or artist that I wanted to cover for a while, specifically this song. But Young Slo-Be tragically passed away towards the end of last month. So when we first had this set up to come through our pipeline, that was not the case. Tragic news. The song is still hidden. If you want to hear that song, it's kind of like on the new West Coast, like the street stuff. It samples the classic Genuine Pony song. That's where the title Pony comes from, but it's a different rendition. You would think you're sampling that song, you think of some love music, some something for the females, but it's just really like a street slapper, man. And it'll get something, the lyrics got stuck in my head. It says, put that motherfucker on God, though. I don't know. That stuff got stuck in my head for a while, and I couldn't stop listening to this record. Moving on to the next music we dropped, Gunna Goof, Thugz Cry 2 out of Seattle. Another tragic story involving a hip-hop artist. Gunna Goof was shot this last month, but he survived that. But Seattle artist that's been blowing up. And, he's got a couple new records. This isn't necessarily his latest record, but a record that just stuck out to me. Again, something we meant to get on the site earlier, but it is what it is with timing right now. But go check out that new Gunna, or not new, but go check out that Gunna Goof Thugz Cry 2 music video we just dropped on the site. And if you like that, he's got music he's dropped since then, new stuff coming out. Definitely support that man. He's been through a lot, dropping a lot of good stuff. Next in the music news, Kanye West went on Drink Champs and just went out on everyone, man. Just taking shots at Diddy, Meek Mill, and everyone. I really don't feel like with the current stuff coming out of Ye, I don't really want to take time to have my platform, give him a platform. I know I'm already doing that currently this moment, so I feel a little weird about that, but it's just hot news that a lot of people are talking about, something that we wanted to cover. Pray for that man. He clearly needs some help. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, and it's kind of weird that, a big respect for Drink Champs and Nori and the podcast they're doing, but I think he's getting a little bit. I think he personally kind of enjoys the attention and working off this stuff with. They like the spiciness, and it's the thing with the hip hop podcast. They really like the spiciness, and obviously Kanye West these days is going to give you a lot of spiciness. So I think Nori's really relishing in that, and it's getting a lot of attention for there. So again, I feel a little guilty and shameful even providing our platform to give that platform, but it is what it is. Moving on in hip hop news, man, Ice Cube's Big 3 basketball event is now recognized as the first Black-owned sports league. Man, we gotta, on the theme of Drink Champs, if we had the button to give the clap, man, we got to give the clap for that. Obviously, Black culture has had a huge influence on sports, all sports at this point. And so to finally see a Black-owned brand a black-owned league, excuse me, and have that recognized, man, that's major. And big shout out to Ice Cube. That dude's no stranger to just breaking down stereotypes, doing things his own way. And you really, really got to salute that. So there's a link in there with more information on his story. That's super dope. And then the last on the music news, Megan Thee Stallion announced she's taking a break. She's been having a crazy schedule. Obviously, she's been blowing up super, super heavy over this last year. She's been big before that, but this last year, teaming up with Roc Nation, her rise has just been, and stock been climbing. She's getting features in TV, commercials. The music's going crazy, and then she just had her house broken in. So she said she's taking a little break. Don't know exactly what that means, but she's kicking back, taking a break. Got to give her, got to give the artists and celebrities some space on that. But again, I'm gonna bring it back to what we were talking about at the start of this live stream. Respect My Region now has cannabis products on the market in 2 different states. This right here, the collaboration with House of Cultivar, I smell it. I smell it so much. It's in a jar, in a box. The terps are just coming off crazy. So we have the 7 days a week strain collaboration, House of Cultivar and Respect My Region, available in 23 dispensaries across Washington State. Aaron Varney dropped in here. So Dockside, this is at Dockside. I believe at Soto, Green Lake, and Ballard. Again, I just gotta, we gotta flex the product on there. Woo, woo. And then I don't know how well, God, the smell on this stuff is just nuts, man. Like, this is just, yep. Aaron said we got them. So go check out Dockside and the other stores. If you go on our website or rmr.me / 7 days a week, you'll see the full list of stores that are available in Washington. Once it's gone, it's gone. But definitely check that out, the 7 days a week strain. And then if you're in California, we have our RMR Legacy Smalls, 7-gram Smalls. Mylar bag is on the market at select dispensaries and delivery companies, mainly in SoCal right now, but we're building up some traction. California's a big state. So we got 2 products on the market. You can check that out. Those are strains that, we don't grow, never been a grower, long-time legacy weed dealer. So, stuff that we're curating as smokers and dealer and historically dealers, man. So check that out. We're just moving into the legal market, trying to get in how we fit in. This is episode, I think, 36 of the Morning Joint, filling in for Joey Bravo again. We will be at you guys next Monday. If you're not subscribed to the newsletter, make sure you do that. You can subscribe on our website, respectmyregion.com. Shoot us an email, info@respectmyregion.com. Shoot me a DM, a text, whatever. I can manually subscribe you so you can get all that information every Monday. But we're mainly recapping the latest news that happened the week prior in music and cannabis. So you can check respectmyregion.com every day or every couple days, once a week, whatever your pace is. We'd love to have you on there. Let us know any feedback, what you like, what you don't like, what we're missing, what you want to see more. We need all that, not just good jobs and thumbs up. We'll take the criticism and the accountability. We're trying to get better and do this the best we can. So appreciate you guys. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll be back with more content soon.